And even as talk about the coronavirus pandemic, how it has affected businesses. Remember, we have had hospitals, hospitality industry being affected. We have had hotels that have resorted to shutting down in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. How is it that we can be able to curb and come against this? Is it possible for us to still rise up against all the odds and still manage to get our business coming back even after the coronavirus or the COVID-19? Well, joining me, I'm joined by Jackson to give us his take. Good morning, Jackson. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
And what is your take in regards to how the coronavirus is affecting the hotel industry? Because we have had different hotels coming in to shut down. And just according to Serena Hotel, they say that never in 40 years have they been able to see something like this that has made their hotel to close down. Is it possible for us to come up from this?
I'm telling you, it is very true. This is one of the worst things that has ever happened for tourism industry, because it has never been like this before. Hotels have really closed down. All the few hotels that are working are actually those that have been used as quarantine areas. Otherwise, many hotels have closed down. For Pride Inn, we have 9 hotels, and 4 of the hotels have closed down. 5 are the only ones that are working. And out of the 5, 3 are actually used as quarantine areas.
And even let's talk about all these hotels, 3 being used as quarantine areas, some being closed down. Let me look at the workers specifically. We've had workers who have been laid off from work. And some are actually breadwinners from their respective businesses. Some have gotten suspended, and some have had their contracts not being renewed in the wake of this coronavirus, because some contracts are expiring during this period. They will not be renewed because of this. Other workers have been laid off from work. What do you think should be done to address the welfare of the workers that have been laid off from work and those that are not required to go to work in these respective businesses?
Actually, it is a scenario that has got everybody flat-foot. I would say that most of the workers have been affected, and like Pride Inn, staffs have been given leave. Others have been given leave in advance. I know that is not normal for someone to be given leave in advance unless it's a maternity, but people have been given leave. Some have been given pending days, just as we look and see when will this virus actually end. But the issue is, unless we see the light in the tunnel, it is going to be difficult. And if this is going to be like this, then it is very difficult, because the government is doing all it can to actually try to see that we are getting business. Even the president said the government should now start using hotels for their businesses as opposed from what other directive he had given. But for now, it is difficulty. Staff have to stay home. You know, the issue of social distancing is actually one factor that is giving guests, the government, no time to actually think of hospitality, because hospitality, you must have distance together, like conferences and all that, and those have all been suspended. So until this ends, it's actually doomed to hospitality industry. However, we actually hope for the best.
Looking at still hoping for the best, we have businesses and business owners that are having some expectations. Before the wake of this coronavirus, we've had some expenses that came in. I'm talking about foodstuffs. I'm talking about perishable goods, perishable products, supplies that were bought before the coronavirus outbreak, before all this took place. And we're talking about edibles, perishable goods, among other delicate food supplies. Are we looking at a spoilage of all of this, because now the supply of the food products or these other perishables is now exceeding the demand, which has now gone down since customers have now gone to their respective homes, taking other measures?
I agree with you. I would say in hospitality, the most hit on that side is the lodges, because in the lodges they order a lot of bulk food that they keep. And this would be really difficulty unless they have other hotels in the city that they would transfer those items, or rather now they have to go in a way of giving it to those people who do not have food, so that to avoid it spoiling, it is very difficult. But for city hotels who order fresh food every day, it was not hit very hard. However, the people who are hit hard are the suppliers, who actually also rely on those hotels to buy those things. They also have a problem on how they will get also the daily bread, because this is give or take kind of business.
Is there any way that we can be able to get a solution from this? Because we are going to experience a lot of losses. Foods bought that won't be sold.
The only way to come out of this is for those food that has been brought and you see they are going to expire. You know, mostly things like perishables. Perishables in hotels are like vegetables and all those. Those are bought or depending on the demand. But the things like dry goods, like rice, all those that have expiry dates, if they are for more than if they are for 1 month expiry period, then these have to be given out to the needy, the street children, to all those other people. But those that can stay up to 6 to 8 months, like tinned food, which always have a lifespan of like 1 year, those maybe will still be kept. But now the way of keeping also, it is important for everybody to think about it. And that's why some hotels have left a few staffs who will actually be keeping the rooms, the stores, to air them so that to avoid spoilages.
And as you talk about some hotels keeping staff, let's deviate also in regards to now the business owners themselves and how these businesses will be coping. Because we have fixed costs that all businesses must incur. And here I'm talking about rent, electricity, insurance, internet. I'm talking about marketing or advertising costs that some of these hotel and businesses must incur that are fixed per month or depending on the duration that they were incurring. All these majorly affects hotels and businesses. Is there a way that we can work through this, because now there is no income, yet expenses must be incurred that are fixed?
In terms of fixed costs, there are things that the government has been talking with hotel owners on how to go about. Things like trying to reduce the payee, because they have to pay on those when they are paying salaries, and if there are no salaries, then there's no payee. And then there are other issues like rent. You've heard many people talking on social media how rent should be reduced. That is something we want to see what the government will do to actually talk to people about rents, especially the business owners. If for those rented businesses, that is what we are talking about. And then definitely it is really difficult to say, because the business owners have also tried their best. They are in a catch situation whereby they have to ensure that their staffs are happy, but also at the same time, they must have something to make them happy. So it is really difficult situation for the entire country, and we only need to go back and pray to God that this virus goes as fast as it came, so that we can come back to our normal business. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And even if it comes back, it will take some time to recover, because it's really difficult.
You mentioned rent, and you reminded me of one case of one landlord here who waived rent for 2 months. Do you think that's the direction that we can take for some, if not all, businesses, that we can be able to just waive some of these fixed costs?
It should be the way, and especially for the workers in the country, because if the government is saying people should not travel from the city to their homes, and some of them are renting houses here and they do not have money, and the landlord will not waive. So what does it mean for those people? It means they will have to stay out in the cold, and there's curfew outside there. So that has to be the way. If people are not going to travel up country and they have to stay here, that should be the way, both for the business owners and even the staff.
And moving, if that is the way, do we have any ripple effect that we can have on this? Because now business owners are crying, and the customers, they are not getting customers, clients are not there, meaning income will reduce. Some businesses have shut down. What is the ripple effect of this on the economy of the country?
This is a very serious. This is very serious for the economy of the country, because it's like total shutdown. It's just like you have sun and then it becomes dark and it's during the day. You know, you won't know what to do because you are not prepared with any other thing. If it is mushuma, you are not ready with the mushuma and all that. So it is really very difficult. And now we take it upon our government to actually see which way and means they need to do. I'm glad I saw the president has appointed a team that would come up with the modalities on handling from every sector, which I've seen hotel industries represented by Mohamed Harsi. So we look forward to see how it goes and what they come up with, but it should be as fast as yesterday.
Looking at tourism, we now have restrictions in terms of how the tourism industry is going to relate. What is your expectations in regards to the ripple effect that this COVID-19 will have, especially specifically within the tourism sector?
The tourism sector is totally hit very hard with this pandemic, because why should I say so? Tourism is actually a place where people go to mingle. This disease does not allow people to mingle. So that means tourism is shut down. So unless this virus goes, tourism is hit very hard.
And I'm looking at the how countries will be able to relate. Do you think that this will, in the long term, affect future businesses, how we relate with one another, between one country and another, between one business and another? Will this coronavirus, in the long run, affect all of these interactions that people will have in the future?
It will, because you see, it's like a wound. It takes time to heal. And for example, many staffs are really very worried when they see a Chinese, because they know this disease started from China. So that tells you what it is all about, because everybody is worried. When they see another person, they actually are very worried on this. So it will take time for people to actually understand. And now that everybody is washing hands, it has also brought something to do with the people are aware that the disease comes with a virus that is a bit different from any other disease we have had before.
And now that we have, just to take us a few steps back, we have a ripple effect on this, and I'm looking at the reduction in the number of guests. Now specifically, moving on from tourism to hotels specifically, do we have any way forward that we should be able to get as a country, and specifically within the hotel industry, to be able to get more ways to curb this COVID-19 as a way to prevent more cases from happening? Currently, we have so many sanitizers being put in different locations, in different institutions, and in different houses and rental areas and businesses. What should be the way forward in the hotel industry?
I must say that hotel industry has always had an issue of hygiene team. They always keep hygiene in process, only that this time this came with more other measures to be added in, because we had only water and soap, but now we had to add sanitizers for every area, which has been done. However, the only best way to go is we are going back to the 90s, where 1997, between 1997, we are using local tourism, because after that, we will have to, first of all, embark on local tourism until and when the wound is done, is when now we'll go back to foreign, because it had come really back, but now with this, people will stay away first before they come back again after this. And we just hope this will go, because when we hear the government saying by April, maybe 1,000 or 5,000 people will be there, then that means this thing is still going on until maybe after 3 months. So what does that mean for the tourism sector? It means we have to completely shut down until that time.
Just as a matter of interest, during this whole period that we are having hotels shutting down, what are the maintenance or the the things that people, the hotel industry that as a hotel industry that you are doing, to still maintain all the things that are kept within your respective hotels? Is there any way that you're looking forward to, to maintain all the equipment and, name them that you have within your hotels?
You see, in the hotel industry, in this period, for those who have some capitals, they will have to do some refurbishment, some repairs, minor repairs and all that. Those who are really geared to do major repairs will have to do it at this time. But now it is caution, because you see, they also will not involve themselves in spending a lot of money in that, without knowing what is the future of the industry. So even those who wanted to do major repairs might end up doing just minor repairs, because they want to caution not to spend a lot without knowing what the future lies in. And in terms of keeping the hotels, yes, of course, they will not leave the hotel just like that. They will leave some people just to making sure that the areas are kept clean, just not to let the businesses to look like run-down places.
Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I value what you've said. Thank you very much for finding time to speak to us. That is Jackson Amutala, the regional manager for Pride Inn, speaking to us right here in Nairobi in regards to the effects of the coronavirus on the hotel industry.